All right, coming in, everybody can hear us. Now, what are we doing today? That's a good question. Today we are taking your questions. What I would like to do is take questions, strategize with everyone on here on how we can be resourceful and how we can adapt. Roy just put in there, he's in Las Vegas and everything is closed. I am in Bend, Oregon, and then our Lana and Kiri are in Jacksonville, Florida. And I'm seeing things from the West Coast to the East Coast closed down. A lot of talk from the government, things going on. And in all this craziness, how can we be resourceful as agents and deal with the new tools we have, the video? We're more connected virtually than ever before. How can we use those tools to connect and to really reach out to our sphere? Because just in the short amount of time, 2 weeks that I've really been focused on this, talking to agents, and I'm seeing a lot of agents roll over and wait for this to blow over. And it's kind of a natural thing to do, and it's a tendency that I have as well. But there's things we can do. The agents that are staying engaged, reaching out to their clients, prospects, and just asking how they're doing, the response has been overwhelming. And I just talked to an agent the other day, closed 2 deals online, sight unseen, closed the deals, and they had gap insurance, so everything was going to go through and close and then get funded if anything comes up, if any of the recording offices are closed. So a lot of ways to be resourceful. Lana, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you guys hear us?
Yes.
Yay.
Perfect.
Reporting to you live from one of our homes.
Wow. So, Lana, it's your birthday?
It was yesterday. Thank you.
Okay, I didn't even know that.
Thank you. I turned 20. Thank you.
That's a good number to
I'm
say.
kidding. No.
Well, what are we going to talk about today?
I'm glad that you started with on a positive note. It's been kind of a rough week or two, and one thing that I'm finding with at least my book of business and my most successful members are the ones that are choosing to do the same thing that we are, which is we're kind of in this fight or flight moment, and we're choosing to fight, and it's business as usual. And most of the members that are finding success even through this time are doing the same thing. So we're having as much fun and positivity on our end when we're doing our talks and our calls and our strategy calls and our success coach meetings with our members, and they're very positive and uplifting as well. So that's what I'm seeing.
They're so excited.
Wonderful.
They're so excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that can be hard to do if we watch the news media, because it seems like everything's just going to hell in a handbasket if we focus on that. But really, there are opportunities, and I think it's Cynthia here that commented. She said, I'm reaching out to clients, but now leads that she hasn't been following up with. And then if you start following up all of a sudden, it can seem awkward. But really, it seems the most awkward to us, the agents who are reaching out. Because if you just call up your prospects or clients and simply ask them, how are you doing? Just ask them how you're doing. Ask them how you're doing, how they're doing, and then just shut up and let them talk. They'll talk about what their concerns are, and what's going on, and the conversation can evolve from there. And I've talked to a lot of agents as well that are using their digital book. That's something that every member gets, Lana, the digital book?
Yeah, under the Authorify memberships, every membership comes with it.
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Oh, now I can. That was
yes, under every Authorify membership, at least a digital book.
How would you recommend that agents use that digital book?
Yeah, so we actually just did, we both actually did a couple of implementation calls, strategy calls. You can still market your book socially. You should have already been doing that. That hasn't changed, especially now. I mean, if anything, that number's gone up. So you can still promote this book on social media. That's one way that we're doing this. That's one way that we're promoting the digital book. Just today, we did. I have a weekly call set up with one of my members where we post and do some different ads and things on their Facebook page. And today happened to be one of those calls. And we actually posted one of the ads that we've created as part of the marketing material, promoting the book, promoting a digital version of the book, especially now. And it's working pretty great for a lot of my members. What about you? How else are you guys promoting it digitally? I think that's one way we're definitely
yeah,
doing
social media. If you have a blog site, putting out your website, it's going to be more. I mean, you're not really able to have like those same face-to-face conversations where you're doing open houses and listing appointments as often as you would before. Some places can, some places are in complete lockdown. So the only way that you're going to make those connections is online. And I think now is the time more than ever that it might even be easier because you're able to relate to them in some way. There's an immediate, we're in the same boat. I know what you're going through.
Absolutely.
And we have the same goal in mind. So I think now is a great time to use those products and, really connect with people.
That's really great. Email. I mean, you can email your digital book just to about anybody.
And then even with mailing, I mean, that people have more time now than ever.
To sit at home and read a book.
To sit at home and read a book. And a lot of people do prefer ebooks. It's quicker. They don't have to wait for you to mail it to them. Yeah. You can send it to them right away. It's limitless on how many you have. And so it's really,
it's like door knocking, but digitally.
Yeah.
And I think now is a great time to leverage that. Here's the thing. The best time to stand out is when other people are sidetracked, giving up, sitting under a rock, waiting for this thing to pass. And here's the psychology behind it. A lot of times when there's a tragedy, when someone's in need and you reach out to them and help them, they're going to remember that more than it's a great day and they just see you walking down the sidewalk. Now people are feeling uncertain. The news media is taking this thing and blowing it up. And I'm not saying it's not serious. This is a pandemic, but we can't roll over and die from it. We need to be proactive. So when you just call up a home seller, a home buyer, a prospect, anybody in your sphere, and you just say, how are you doing? And then talk to them, they are going to remember that. Plus, then you can talk about your digital book. Say, hey, I want to send you something. Can I send you my book? Can you check it out? Can you give me feedback? I know you're not thinking of buying or selling now, but maybe there's someone who is that you could send this to brighten their day and help them, give them something to read instead of the news media right now. There's so many things you can do, and the digital book opens up that conversation, what I call from starting with a personal connection, how you're doing, rolling over to a giving something of value. It's digital. You can give it out one time or you can give it out 1,000,000 times. It doesn't matter because you don't have to pay for the printing. Give it out and then follow up afterwards. Follow up a couple days afterwards, ask what they thought about the book, and then maybe say, hey, did you send it to your Aunt Mary? I know you mentioned she was getting ready to sell. And they might say, well, no, I didn't. Well, then that's a great opportunity to remind them casually and comfortably, and then they can send it, and possibly you can get Aunt Mary's information and follow up with her as well. So there's so many things that we can do now, and as the noise in the media goes way up, the noise in business goes way down because many agents aren't doing these things. If you do some simple follow-up, some simple calls, some simple sending out your digital book, they're going to remember you when this thing blows over. And it's going to eventually, right? We don't know exactly when or exactly how. I just saw something on the news pop up that said Trump is talking about opening up the economy by Easter. So we don't know what's going to happen, but I do know one thing. People are going to need homes, food, clothing, shelter, housing. People are going to buy or sell, whether they need to downgrade or downsize because of this thing, or maybe they've had a big home and after this they're thinking, you know what, I want to have less stress. There's going to be transactions going on, and it's just a matter of who they're going to do those with. I see a question here from William. What is the content of the digital book? What is that, Lana?
Are you asking specifically what the content of the book are? I mean, because that's your choice. So you've got a couple different options. Are specifically
If
are
I
we
have, if I have the For Sale by Owner book, or I just have a seller book, and I have that customized, what's my digital book going to look like?
Yeah, so I see what William is asking. He's saying, can he use any book? That would depend, and actually we can probably pull up William's account. We have two computers. We're going to do this pretty quickly right here. We'll pull up your account, and I'll be able to tell you exactly what you have available to you as far as which digital book it is, because it depends on your membership, but there's different levels will offer you different access to different niches, just depending on which one. It looks like currently, is that him right here? So go over here real quick. I see these three right here. So it looks like you've got access to the business card book, the home buyer guide, and an expired book. So I think that your trial, you signed up through the expired trial. So those are the three that you have available to you, William. So any three of those could be your digital book.
Membership option.
So whatever books you have in your membership, you can choose one of those as your digital book?
Correct. Yeah. So as you're going through the Book Builder app and as you're going through the process, when you get to your checkout page, right after you build out that book, whether or not you're ordering physical books, and that's a completely different thing we're talking about is physical books, whether or not you have access to that, you at least have a digital book on every single membership. So during that checkout process, you can say, I want this to be my digital book, and then you'll receive a digital book for that as well.
Nicole's same expired trial. So you've also got the business card, home buyer guide, and the expired.
Nice, Nicole. Book. It looks like you've got a meeting set up with Carrie.
We do.
Next week. So it looks like you guys are going to connect.
We'll go over that then.
And go over all of that. That'll be fun.
And you can do shout outs on Facebook about your digital book. So say you have a print book, you can do a shout out video with your print book and say, you know what, with what's going on today, I have a digital book right below. Click the link and check it out. So there's so many ways that you can interact with your audience virtually with your digital book. So don't think it's something that you just email or you just text to someone. Really, any way, any digital format, your book can be included and sent out.
And you can start letting them know even before it gets out. Like Nicole, you and I have an appointment coming up on the 31st. So prior to that, if you want to go ahead and get started and say, I do have a book coming out, I have a lot of members who they say that they feel nervous sometimes because they're just announcing it on the spot.
Yeah,
I think you can also go ahead, start letting people know that you're currently working on one, and the whole process is starting. Ask people who's interested ahead of time. So you can even go ahead and get an idea of who all is going to be interested in a copy, what type, ask people what kinds of, I guess you can kind of get in communication with your clients as well on social media.
Nicole, how many books can we make? Nicole, under your trial membership, you receive 10 free physical books. You can be endless with your digital books, but physical books, you get 10 of them. Chris Landy, hi Chris Landy. She says, regarding my membership, I have the business card, first time buyer, and FSBO, and now I wish I would like to do the inherited digital book. How will this work? Chris Landy, I'll reach out to you and we can talk about access to additional books, things like that. So I've got your name written down and I'll contact you as soon as we wrap up here today. Joe, do I get a digital book for each of my print books? Joe, we'll take a look at your membership, but the answer more than likely is yes. We're going to take a look and see whether or not you have an Authorify membership or under the older platform, which is the Smart Agents platform. Either way, we got your name down and we're going to figure that out for you. Ron Summer, where's the digital version of my book? I received the hard copies last week. Oh, good, Ron. We'll send you your digital as well. And then we'll go over how to access it moving forward. Larry, I just set up my book yesterday with Stephanie and a meeting next week with Carrie. Do I have access to the digital book now? Larry, if you just set up your book yesterday, your digital book probably isn't quite ready yet. Our team is going to go in, create your book prior to printing the physical book. A digital book will be available. So Larry, we'll go over all of that with you on your meeting With your meeting with Carrie.
Joe's actually one of my members, and I can call him and discuss digital book as well with you. Your digital book options, Joe. I'll send you an email now.
Will all my 3 books be available on the landing page you've created for me as digital books to be able to download? So that would be a custom creation to the site, which, yes, it is available to you. We can talk about that during our call, what that means, custom creation, things like that. We can talk about all of that. But yes, it is possible to do that. We normally only will promote your very first book that you publish on the site because we want to leave that conversation up to you to have with them one-on-one. Oh, hey, you know what? Now that I know that you're a first-time home buyer, I actually have a book available for that too. Let's set up a time to meet and I can go over that with you as well. Really, it's supposed to just bring them to you, get the conversation going. But yes, we absolutely make it available to you to custom create your site and have a landing page for all of your books. So we can talk about that during our call. Oh my goodness, so many questions coming in. I can't keep up. When I put my books in draft, I cannot access them later to edit. Let's go back up there. You should be able to. You shouldn't be having any technical issues like that. So let me write your name down, Yasir, and I'll make sure that
How can I get started before the 31st? Is there a way we can talk sooner? Nicole, I'll call you or I'll reach out to you personally and we'll schedule a call sooner then.
I have not seen digital books yet. I received my books a week or so ago. Will you write down Jeff Curves as well?
Yes.
I'm a Smart Agents book membership trying to switch to Authorify. Can you call me and help me make that switch to Authorify so I have full access? Which, yeah, of course, William. That's wonderful. You have the option under the Smart Agents platform, of course, to stay with your legacy membership. However, there is a number of benefits as to why you're going to want to switch over to Authorify, and we'd love to go over it with you. So, William Swanzer, we will get a call scheduled as soon as we finish here. Tony from Houston, I'll be on a call with Troy today to publish the hard copy version. Can you add images to the book? So in order for us to have the fully editable content on those books, it is not possible to have images in the book. Now, it depends. Is this an advertisement? To what extent are we using the images? So we can call and talk about that. But right now, in order to have every page be able to be editable, there's really no way to do images because we're giving you the ability to edit the entire chapter, delete the entire chapter, things like that. But we can talk about that on our one-on-one call.
I'd like to chime in and do a quick poll on the participants we have logged in here. Who has been through the housing bubble as a real estate agent? So who has been through the housing bubble where we saw kind of this craziness and then we rebounded from it? Okay, we have William, Anne Marie, Roy, Michael, Nicole, 2009. Yes, please don't remind me. There'll be stories, there's stories I don't tell, but I almost tell today that are still painful from that time. That was crazy. But especially being in real estate, we saw just crazy amounts of things happening and we had to adapt quick or we got left behind. And it's interesting to think about also how we rebounded from that. And so I'm always interested to see who's made it through that. And I think it helps us see that, hey, we can still take action today. We can still do things today that will really help us as this thing passes. And I believe there'll be a lot of agents who will crash and burn and get out of the market, get out of the industry, leaving more opportunities for those who adapt. So I'm not excited about it, but I'm inspired to hear what agents are doing and how they're being resourceful.
Carolyn Marsili, I started in February, had family issues. Is my membership still active? We're going to look right now. Monique would love to chat with someone to discuss the difference between smart agents and where you're at now. Yes, definitely. I got your name down. I'll make sure that your success coach reaches out if they haven't already. I'm sure we get lost in the emails. We send you guys lots and lots of resources.
Carolyn is still active.
Yeah?
Yep, she's active.
Carolyn, you're still an active member, so we'll get your name down and make sure that your marketing success coach reaches out.
I see an old question here from Jeff about additional follow-up letters. I only found 2. With the follow-up letters, the ones that we have on the membership site, I would encourage you to revise those a little bit if you have a sales cycle or a follow-up cycle that you need multiple letters, and make it more relevant to what's going on now about your local market. Because here's the thing, when we're sending out these letters, we want them to build on top of each other. And then 2 other things that are really important. We want them to be personalized, and we want them to be relevant to whether it's an expired or FSBO, but also relevant to the market as well. So I would encourage you to maybe add some personal touches in between those letters, even if it's a card, handwritten card, or revise a letter that you have, that you have right now, to kind of spread out the conversation for more follow-up letters, and then add a personal signature or a note before you mail it out. We're seeing that makes a big impact versus just mailing people more things. If they're personal and if it's relevant to the area, to the market, if you can mention any of that in the letter, it really helps drive the point home and change your letter from a marketing piece to something that's personal and of value.
Michelle, we were just looking into your question for Carrie.
Hi, Michelle.
Michelle asks, hi, Carrie, my book is called The Guide to Selling Homes for Top Dollar. Would it be okay to give buyers because I only have the one book? Carrie has an answer for you.
So since that's a seller's book, I would stick with giving those ones, or that set of books, to your seller clients, but you do have access to the home buyer book. And you actually have book credits to use right now. If you log into your account, it'll tell you how many you and I can do another call together. If you want me to walk you through building that book, we can do it together, just like we did the first one. But you do have access to a buyer book. Yeah, I'll reach out to you so we can set up an appointment.
Yeah, if you're focusing on both buyers and sellers, it wouldn't hurt to have a little stack of each available at all times. So if you've already got that with your Guide to Selling Homes, then we should get you guys to have a buyer's one too. Let's see, did I miss another question? I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I'm sorry. Meredith Endelman. What's that?
Are you going through the Q&A or the chat box, both?
I'm going through currently the chat box, but I need to get over to the Q&A here in just a moment, unless you want to look in there.
So we have this anonymous attendee. Beautiful name. How do we actually access our digital book? I have had 2 different books sent to me so far, and I'm not sure how to access the digital book. I can't see how on the Authorify website. Where do I log in?
Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like you need to connect with a marketing success coach, just so that way we can walk you through how to access all of that. We will send it to you directly so that you have it handy to hand out to whoever you'd like. However, it's also available on your exclusive site, which it doesn't sound like you have access to that yet either. So we'll make sure that you get that too. So we don't have a name. You said it was an anonymous member. Share your name with us so we can contact you.
We'd love
and
to
Mary
get access to everything, but we don't want to give it to the wrong person.
I want to give it to the wrong person. Meredith Endelman, we've got your name down too. We're going to make sure that we get you access after this. Okay, I think, is the $47 a one-time fee or monthly? Nicole, this is Nicole again. She'll go over that on your call, what that $47 covers.
But that one is a one-time.
Yes, good. Although I'm new to this program, I'd like to see this format happen more. I'm picking up little and questions I may want to be sure I understand as I go through this program. Are there plans for future calls like this? Oh, Larry.
Should I just look them up?
Yeah, we do this call every other week. We, as in the marketing success coaches, do this every other week. And then Joe will have a different guest on the other
and I have
weeks.
an appointment booked as well. So I'll be speaking with you on April 3rd.
Perfect, Larry. It sounds like Larry and you're going to connect.
Every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're live. And every other week, we go from Q&A to more of a targeted event. But on either of them. We're there to answer your questions. So just another way we make ourselves accessible. And like, I want to point out too what Lana said before. Some of these questions, we're referring you back to your success coach, because your success coach is not just a support person. They're someone that's going to be in tune to your market, what's going on, what you're doing. And so when you talk to someone, you're not talking to a different person every time. You have your specific success coach, and their title says exactly what they're doing for you. They're coaching, helping, coming alongside you to where if you feel like, hey, I'm kind of intimidated by this concept, I'm kind of intimidated by the digital aspect of it, I'm not really technically savvy. Any of those concerns, your success coach will be right alongside you to support you. So it's something that I always say, take advantage of them. That doesn't sound good, but it is good because they love to help.
We do, and take it very literally. Like when I say come to me for everything, like, yes, I mean come to me for everything. Like I will we more than likely have already discussed something. We've got a connection built. That's the whole point of the relationship. So, but of course, support is always available for support questions. So if that's something that's working for you that you're utilizing, don't do that, because our support team is phenomenal. But you can always come to us too. Can we customize the book cover? Yes, Jackie, you can. And we can talk about how to do that, but we have members who are so creative, and our team is incredible and very creative as well. We'll basically put your vision into a book cover. They're very talented. So we can go over what that looks like, what you can customize.
Those are great.
We can talk about all of that.
You feel a lot more confident, I think. You actually customize it and make it yours. I always encourage my members to do that, because it does, I think, really heighten that confidence that you have when handing it out, when it's something that you really put in effort and you love.
Yeah, I got Jackie's name. We'll talk to Jackie. Hey, Lana, Troy told me you're my success coach. Lucky me. All right. We are going to have some fun. William.
And we have some questions here in the Q&A box from David. He said, I subscribe to Smart Agents. I need to order books as I have changed markets. Can I do that on Authorify? What is the difference? Can I edit books in Authorify? Sounds like he needs to connect with his success coach.
Yeah,
definitely.
We'll give you a call.
David. I like that last name. Yes, in a nutshell, if you subscribe to Smart Agents and are part of our legacy membership, our book leads membership, then you have a whole other group of access to a platform that is kind of a grandfathered in platform. Still amazing content, still awesome covers, awesome everything. If you like that, if it's working for you, if you prefer to stay there, you can absolutely stay there. If you come over to Authorify, then you receive a marketing success coach, you receive a digital book. There's a number of benefits that you'll receive. If you like the covers from Smart Agents, we'll make sure that you get the same covers on your new Authorify account, okay? So we'll make sure that you're getting everything that's always been available to you, if you will, plus more. Mm-hmm. So that's the biggest difference. There's a lot of differences that you should touch base with your marketing success coach one-on-one with, and we're kind of managing that right over here. So she's going to shoot over your information to your marketing success coach, make sure that we reach out to you as soon as possible. If you've changed markets, we can absolutely make changes and updates and edits. Can you edit the book in Authorify? Yes, you can edit the book fully, page by page, in the new Book Builder app under the Authorify platform. Can we add the QR code on our print books? I think so. I don't know. I don't actually know.
So with QR codes, they're pretty simple. There's a lot of websites out there that offer free QR codes. And basically what they'll do, they'll connect your Authorify book website with a QR code. And when someone snaps that QR code, it will go to your author website. So yes, you can do and there's plenty of them out there. If you Google free QR codes, you simply enter in your website address and they give you a QR code, and then you can test it on your phone. So that's an easy one.
Okay, cool. That's great. Well, I'm sure a lot of people will want that. Let's do it. Let's see. Oh yeah, and anonymous. That's Paul.
You're scrolling through the comments there, Lana.
Yep.
Were you muted or were you talking?
No, I'm talking. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can. I didn't hear you for a minute. Didn't know if I interrupted this virtual meeting. But I want to mention something really quick, and then we'll continue to take questions. With everything that's going on, we're getting a feel of what's going on around the country with our members, how people are adapting, how agents have been through times like this, and really trying to strategize for the benefit of all of our members. And I want to put an offer out there to everyone that's on here that if you do an interview with me, I'm actually just sent the link to the chat box. Or actually, I'm going to send it to all attendees here. If you do an interview, I will provide you, I'll give you 10 free books, 10 book credits to add onto your account. And so if we can just chat about what's going on in your area, how you're doing, it'll be short, sweet, and just real straightforward and simple. I sent a link to the chat box. If you just click that link and then grab a time on the calendar, sooner is better than later. I really cleared out my schedule for this. Today, tomorrow, the next day, if we could sit down and do an interview, talk about your market, and then I'd love to provide you with some book credits, and then also maybe we can do a one-on-one kind of on what's going on in your market and how you can adapt. So just click the link there on the chat box, pick a time on the calendar, and we'll have a quick chat.
A couple quick questions to answer. Roland, yes, got you down. Lori, yes. Depends on who you sent the message to and how you went about looking for the answer to your question about the manuscript. She's going to look you up. I'll make sure that we get that question answered for you. I'll make sure that you get a new marketing success coach. I'll make all those connections. We'll do all that for Lori. Is your book builder down? It shouldn't be, but we will look into it. It shouldn't be. Joseph, I have an implementation call with Rosario this evening. I'm still very green to the whole process. How much help is there for guidance for someone who is tech deficient like myself? Also, I'm a first responder in New York City. My schedule's crazy, along with the pause on live appointments. Will you expand on after hours help? Well, thank you for your service. So yes, we're primarily on Eastern time. Rosario is wonderful. You're gonna have a great time with Rosario. What's great about this whole, kind of the way that everything works is we give you all the guidance, we give you all of the training and the assistance, and then you really can run with it on your own, and then touch base with us whenever you need to. Rosario's available some odd kind of hours outside of our regular business hours. So I think that Rosario will be a great marketing success coach for you, because you guys can work that out together to where she can contact you, whatever works for you. If email is the best way, great. Yes, we do have the ability to help you on the tech side of things. We have ways to do screen sharing meetings with you, video conferences like this, where we can actually take over your screen, show you how to do a lot of this stuff. So yes, Rosario is really great at that too. So you've got a good implementation call coming up with Rosario this evening, and I'll make sure to reach out to her with your name specifically and let her know what to kind of look out for so she can prepare for that. But yes, we try to make it very accessible to you based on your strange hours, because everybody's got strange hours. So do we. I think that we are caught up there. Okay. Jackie, do we have the option of making edits to our books once they are printed?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. The answer is yes, but it's a matter of how quick can you be before these are printed and shipped, like your current order. However, if say you have a brokerage change or any other update that you want to make, we can absolutely recreate that order in your next order. So we'll make those edits for your next order. But yes, once you hit publish, it's going to the presses, if you will. So make sure that you're communicating with us. If you make a mistake and accidentally publish the book, just communicate that with us. We will stop it in time, because it does take some prep time on our end. We can try and stop it in time before it ships to you. If not, there may be some charges associated with reprinting, reshipping. But yes, we can make edits to books after they've been printed ultimately.
And if it's something that you previously printed, it's typically saved in your past orders, so you can pull that back up, and even it'll pull up everything saved as is, and you can make edits and then reprint. So it's super easy to do in the app.
Yeah. Same with Bob Knight. Did Authorify replace Smart Agents? Not replace. It's two different platforms. It is where everything is headed, and where it eventually will, migrate over to being completely under the one, which is Authorify. But we do have a lot of members under the Smart Agents platform right now, so we're not taking that away. However, for any new members moving forward, it is Authorify. But Smart Agents, yes, is its own product. Very, very similar. It's all for the same goal, same purpose. Lot more benefits with Authorify, I believe, and so you have the option of both if you're already grandfathered.
We really took everything that we heard from agents. I want this. Can I have this? I wish I could have this. And we worked really hard over the last year and a half, and put it on a platform as Authorify. And it was a long haul, and there was bugs to work out of the system. Like everything, you start and you adapt and you change and you make it better. And that's what Authorify, that's really how it came about, is really focusing on what members want, what members need, and how we can make it easier for you. And as we grow this platform, we're continually adding value to it. And so it's something that is going to be great today, especially in today's environment when we're seeing all these changes. But a year from now, it's going to be different because we're constantly adding to it and improving it. So it's something to keep in mind as you go along. Don't just get your books and think, hey, this is it, I'm done. No, we have training, we have resources, and we're constantly adding to the platform. One goal in mind, for the number one goal, which is focusing on you, agent, and supporting you.
It's great to promote the books while people have more time to read it. What verbiage can we use to preface concerning what is happening with COVID-19?
So I actually have a member who she is incorporating into her cover letter that she is having sent out with the books that she's mailing. She's just incorporating some verbiage into her cover letter, just saying, essentially it was basically just saying, I know that now is a hard time for all of us. We are adhering to the, laws and restrictions that our state abides by, so that you're letting them know that you still are able to contact them, but you're able to, that you're still wanting to help them through that process. However you want to connect with them, we can get together and come up with a script together. But maybe incorporating that into a cover letter would be good.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really great suggestion. I think that empathizing, of course, is important, but I think that you also want to build this tone of confidence in you that they should have, because it's business as usual. And yes, although we are going to take this seriously, here's a few different things that we know about the market right now to where this is not going to impact you in these ways. And then talk about how low mortgage rates are. Talk about inventory. Talk about bullet point a couple things that you know about the market. You can do your research, this. And use that to your advantage and build the confidence back up in you. And of course, let them know that you're abiding by all, laws, and you're not, going to come to their house, nothing like that, but you're just offering the same thing you've always offered.
Offer virtual tours,
virtual
things like
tours.
that.
Oh my gosh,
go ahead and let them
idea.
know the things that they can look forward to that you can do during this time.
That's a great idea.
Virtual tours.
Virtual tours
one
is a
of
great
them.
idea.
Online communication.
That's great.
Yeah, there's so many things that we can do now as agents, and there are things that a lot of agents forget. I mean, I love what Carrie said in Lana about being empathetic, letting them know, I understand what's going on. I'm not denying it. I'm letting you know that I'm abiding by the laws set by our governor or federal government. And I just want to reach out to you and provide you with the book, something that you may enjoy reading, and foster hope. This too shall pass. I mean, this is going to be over. This isn't the norm that we're living in now. It's going to get better. And when we can portray that to our clients, they're going to feel good. I'm surprised. I mean, not surprised. I was really inspired. I went out and talked to some small business owners because I was telling agents to do that. And I was going to see what kind of response I got. And it was an overwhelming just appreciation for thank you for calling me up. Thank you for asking me how I'm doing. And it's so good to hear your voice. It's so good to hear someone who's looking at solutions versus problems, things that are in my control versus worrying about what's out of my control. So if you can kind of cater a letter to being empathetic, letting them know that you're confident, you know what's going on, but you also know that this too will pass. And then if you could give them a book, then maybe do a call on Facebook Live, Zoom, where it's just like this. You're looking at them. You can do screen share. You can do Google Maps. You can zoom down to Street View, show them a neighborhood, show them geographically how close it is to the hospital, the airport. Like all these things you can do now as an agent, if it's a home buyer or a home seller, and you're going to be top of mind awareness once this thing loosens up. You're going to be the one they turn to, the one they remember, and that's when you don't have to close because they already respect and trust you, so you don't have to sell yourself.
That's good. Absolutely. I mean, let's be honest, that's the direction that everything is headed anyway. You can now buy a car online completely and it just show up in your driveway. You never have to go in and talk to a human being and sign paperwork. You can do everything digitally. So why not just get ahead of the curve and start offering that as if that's what I'm doing. I mean, the only difference for me is I'm home working right now, but nothing has changed as far as business goes for us and how I'm just in a different setting. So I think that's the way that everybody should be treating this as well. Couple comments to catch up on here. I'm sorry. Heather, I just have to say that you guys are simply lovely and exude professionalism. Thank you and excited to make my first book. Thanks, you. Heather. Thank you so much. We love that. It's all because of Joe. He brings out the best in us.
No, I get inspired by how excited Carrie and Lana are to coach people.
We're always excited.
Oh, we're always like this. I think it's because of the members that we have. I mean, they're just like this too. They're like all peppy and fun. I mean, it's just like we're like in a cheerleading camp all the time. We're just always having the most fun. How many, Lana, I think you're my success coach. Can you help me put something together? Yes, Connie, I have your name on my list. Do you know the cost to mail a book? I don't know what the cost is for, what is a stamp? Depends on how you do it. I know if it's like UPS, it depends on if you're doing like first class. It depends on if you're doing standard mail. How are you packaging it? I don't know what on average it would be. Joe, do you have any idea?
I was getting it for around $1.70 to mail a book to $2, depending on how I built out the package. So it's $1.10, William. Yeah, that's $2.75.
I remember this kind of goes hand in hand with the next question, which is how many books on average do most agents use a quarter? It depends. I have a member who does 10 books a week to round out her month at 40 because she's taking the kind of like the consistent approach of handing out 20 to 25 a month. She's obviously going a little bit above and beyond because she's using her strength in numbers to get that 1 or 2 back on her investment. So it can absolutely get a little costly if you're doing it that way. So it really just depends on what your budget allows. We can also do it for you. So we have a mail system where we can actually help you build your book, and then we'll actually mail them to your leads. We can talk about that one-on-one if you're interested. So please make sure that you're connecting with your marketing success coach. But it looks like it ranges 110 to 75. Depends on if you're doing first class. I'm sure that's going to have a higher price point. But
and a couple of our memberships, they come, the premium platinum, you're going to come with the monthly amount that you have, and then if you sign up for yearly, you get even more like the day that you sign up. Actually, because you get them all at once. So that's another way to do it, is kind of come out on top, is to use the fact that you kind of get more
in bulk,
in bulk. And go from there.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have a success coach, because it's not about how good of a solution we provide to you. It's what works best for you. What's your goals? What are you going to be consistent at? One thing to remember, books don't get thrown away. You're basically putting them into circulation in your market. And that's one thing to remember versus postcards or magazine. A book goes into circulation and it continues to circulate and get passed around. And so if you look at the course of a year, 2 years, 5 years, and you say, okay, at the end of a year, I want to have 1,000 books in circulation, or 500, or 200, or 100. It does not matter necessarily the number. It's what works for you, and then follow up on those, and that's where the magic happens. It's not about following another agent who had success. It's about saying, okay, this makes sense to me. Agents from all over have had success with it. Now, how can I adapt it to me? And that's exactly what your success coach will do.
Yes, absolutely. We'll get down to it on a very granular level. And we'll talk about what your market allows for, what your budget allows for, what type of effort you're trying to put in. You may not be wanting to put this type of effort in. You might want something that's more done for you. So we'll talk about a lot of different things and marketing material and strategies, and then we'll basically cater it to you.
And I want to mention too, with your books, there's different ways to use them. Go directly to the consumer. You can set them out. Maybe you have a coffee shop or someplace you go frequently, pass your book out. Another opportunity is going to be vendors, preferred vendors, teaming up with roofers, painters, electricians, home inspectors. There's probably 20 or 30 that you can think of. Reach out to them, and now is a good time to reach out to them as well and let them know, hey, we're in this together, because everybody's has a bit of a struggle now and is having to adapt. This can be a great time to reach out to preferred vendors, because there's going to become a time they're probably not on the roof as a roofer, they're not painting. I talked to a contractor today, and he said, Joe, I'm sitting home and I don't know what to do. And so they are more available than ever. This may be a great time to reach out to your preferred vendors and then put them in your book. And you put them in your book as a featured partner. So they're getting maybe a page, a full page, or 2 pages. And so you can get them to charge them $1, $2 a book. And you could really build out your book, cover your costs, expand your network, and increase your referrals all with one book. So it really comes down to, hey, what's your strengths? Are you a networker? Are you just a salesperson? What's your strength? What works best for you? And one thing we will do, we will overwhelm you with great ideas. And then your success coach will get down to the granular and say, okay, let's think realistically. Let's take it a step at a time, because we want you to be successful and essentially build a bridge and start getting money across, and then build another one, and then build another one, versus ending up with 10 bridges that are half done and you don't have that income coming in. You want to get the income coming in and then build off of that. And that's where Lana and Carrie take all of our crazy ideas and adapt them to what works for you.
Yeah, that's a really great point. Keeping it very organized and streamlined. You don't want to overwhelm anybody, and it could absolutely be overwhelming with just what all is available with your membership and what ways you can take it and what strategies you can employ and things like that. But take it down to the basics at first. Start building that brand, start getting that return on investment, and then let's just take it from there, and we'll grow in different ways, whatever works for you. I do want to answer Larry's question. Can you give me a couple of ideas on how I would handle the question of whether or not I wrote the book? What response is best? I think we all have a couple different versions of the same thing.
We get that question a lot. I think that you can say that you worked with a team of writers. One good thing, and I always bring this up, is with the new app that we have on the Authorify site, you can actually add in your own chapters, remove chapters. You can edit the content of the book as much or as little as you feel comfortable with doing. If you don't want to touch it at all and you like it as is, you can do that. But you definitely can put your input wherever you'd like in the book. You're adding your bio, your testimonials, you're choosing the cover. And you can even do things like customize your cover and make it, your own, really your part of your brand. So you can say, I got together with a team of writers, or, a team of writers helped me create this book, but really you're just doing it to be an educator and to provide that for your clients. So it's just,
yeah, absolutely. We have the same answer to that. I think you have all the right to say that you authored it, that you wrote it. You're paying for the licensing and the publishing rights to the book. If you're more comfortable saying, I worked with a team of writers, of ghostwriters, there's nothing wrong with that. Many celebrities, politicians, writers, authors have used ghostwriters. That's not anything that's surprising to anybody, or should be surprising to anybody. So whatever is more comfortable for you, you have the rights to do it either way.
And I think it's practice a couple things, understand what we're telling you, that there's a lot of books written. Most books are written by ghostwriters. Most music you listen to on the radio is not sung by the writer. So what I would say, and I shared the same concern when I started writing a book, because I felt out of place saying I'm a writer. And then writers told me, they said, Joe, you know what a writer does? A writer writes. So you're a writer. And I was writing blog posts, and then I would give them to writers who would turn them into chapters and books. And that's kind of how it evolved. But the author normally doesn't touch the writing. It's left to the editors and the ghostwriters. So what I would say when people ask me that, I would laugh and say, I'm not a writer. Unfortunately, I can't write like it's written here. So I hired a group of writers to help me put this together. Why? And it's important to share why, so I can give this to people and share my knowledge of what I learned in the real estate space. So let them know why you're giving it to them, how you produced it. I hired some writers because I'm not an editor. I can't write perfectly. And keep it authentic and real. And that's a great opportunity to say, hey, I'm still working on editing parts of it, right? Because you have the app. You can edit parts if you have that part of the membership. And so would you give me some feedback on it? I even had typos in my first books were written terrible, but we had typos in it. And I would pen the typo and make it look like I was going to review it in the next print run. So I would leave the typos in there, and they were conversation pieces. And I'd say, yeah, I noticed that. Have you noticed the one over here too? This in my next print run is going to be fixed. So it's make it be authentic and have it be a conversation piece.
Anne-Marie asks, I guess before we wrap up, just so we answer, who actually wrote the manuscripts? Was it different writers for every book? We have an in-house team of writers. Amazing. Denise actually has been on the webinar, right? Mm-hmm. In between our webinar, yeah, she's on, right? So she's one of our writers. So yes, they're real humans, they're real people, an actual team that comes up with this content and works with other real estate agents there's a ton of teamwork involved in creating this book. But yes, it's real people in-house that write the content. So we can actually take your ideas, your suggestions directly to the writer and say, hey, blah, blah, blah. And then we can make those adjustments and changes. So that's a really good question. But yes, it's actual writers that work with us in-house. Yeah.
And how, real quick, how we come up with these book titles, content, etc. Research, see what people are thinking, what questions are coming up online, and then bring it over to content, create content, and then give it to our writers, and then polish it through editing, and then publish it. So it's a long process. This stuff isn't just copied and pasted from some manuscript. There's a lot of thought, a lot of strategic thinking that goes into it, because we want it to be easy to understand for the reader. We want it to be educational. Some of it, you'll notice a little bit of entertainment in there, and engaging. And this is really, I call it Denise, our writing Jedi. I can give her something that sounds like Lana just said, blah, blah, blah. And she turns it into something that sounds magical. And I tell her, I say,
yeah.
I'm so jealous of our writers because I wish I could do that. It's like almost like writing
Yeah.
music.
Yes, it is in her blood. She is a writer by blood. I mean, she's so good. Yeah.
Don't tell her we said that.
I know.
Listen,
I love it.
we love Denise, Leanne. We have some great writers.
Oh my goodness, of course we do. We're out of time, aren't we?
Yeah.
Oh,
If
looks like
we answered all the questions.
yeah, I don't think we've missed anything. I've been
Paul
I've been
says
looking.
he's got to run too.
Paul's got to
Bye,
go. Bye, Paul.
So we'll wrap it up here. I'm looking forward to chatting with those who have clicked the link for an interview, provide you with some books. If you have not, you can scroll up to, I'm going to throw it in the chat box one more time here, just to make sure everybody has it.
Thank you, everybody. Oh, the feedback is so lovely. Thank you.
So click the link if you haven't yet. I'd love to chat with you one-on-one just about what's going on in your market. And we will be on again next week, same time with our writer, Denise. And we'll have a training event. And then after that, we'll have Lana and Carrie back on next Tuesday.
Yeah, we love this webinar. We love doing this question and answer. So thank you guys so much for coming. It was a nice turnout. It's nice to see that everybody's still active and then positive and engaged. And that's all we want. And we really appreciate you guys taking the time to come out and listen to us babble.
Yeah.
Everyone stay safe. Hope your families are healthy and safe, and hope
Absolutely.
to see you soon.
Thank you, Joe.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.